All right, here we are. We're going to transfer our windows and doors down to the elevation view. Now, one thing I don't want you to do is get too carried away with details. Just do, basic windows and doors. If you get real fancy, it's going to take you forever. Now, a lot of times this is an area where you can get pretty fancy with your drawings. And it's cool to do so. But when you're brand new, just like you are right now, and we're trying to do something for class and get class finished, then we really don't want to go that deeply into details. Okay, not right now. We want to get the general stuff done first, and then once we learn all the general stuff, we can go back and do some really fancy stuff. Okay, so transferring the windows down. Okay, this window, this is typically the way that we transfer them down. It's going to be a little different when we get over here to the bay window. Okay, we'll probably take a look at it and see what we need to do, but it is going to be a little bit different. Okay, now this is a main window, or a regular window, I should say, not a main window. But when I transfer this down, I'm going to go ahead and get, kind of the outside of the trim there and transfer that down with it. Or do I? No, I don't. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to transfer the window down, and then we're going to put trim around it. Okay, let's do that first. Okay, so again, using these lines here, I'm going to get right there to the side of the window body and transfer that one down. And this is where you probably could go and mark all of them and then come down here and draw them. But I just kind of want to take you through the process one little piece at a time. Okay, so that's going to be a window. Now what I have to decide on this window is what is the top level, the header level of that window. Okay, in other words, the header level, that's where basically there is a structural header, we call it a header, in the wall. It's like a beam. It's above the window. Okay, and that's because we just cut a hole in the wall to put a window. We want to beef up that structure a little bit right there and put a header beam. Okay, so we have to figure out where we want that header to be, or in other words, the top of the window. All right. Sometimes you can make the windows level, the same level as your doors. Sometimes you can make them higher, a little bit higher than your doors, or even lower than your doors. Sometimes some windows will be at one height, other windows will be at another. Okay, what we're after overall, we're definitely after something that looks balanced and unified. Okay, which is why I will choose a standard height to put all of my windows. And I typically choose the door height, okay, which is, it really just depends on who you ask. Now, the official height of a door, the clearance should be 6 feet 8 inches. But a lot of times when people are drafting, they draft it at 6 foot 10 inches just to leave a little wiggle room. Okay. So in real life, once they build that window and that door and that wall and everything, it's not going to come out perfectly at either one of those measurements. Okay. But, if you allow for some extra room, then you're going to know other things that you can or cannot do in the future on this particular plan. I know that's kind of hard to understand, but we're going to go ahead and do it at 6 foot 10 inches as far as our door level, or the height, the header level of the door and the windows. Now I'm going to go ahead and mark that, temporarily mark it. And it's going to be at, like I said, 6 foot 10 inches. So I'm going to offset 6 feet dash 10 inches. Okay, so that's pretty much going to be almost at the very top, right where the eave comes down. Okay, so it'll be almost kind of behind the eave. Okay. Now on this window, because it is a bedroom, I got to make sure I have 5.7 square feet of open space on the bottom of the window so someone can climb out and escape the building if it catches on fire. Okay. So I'm thinking somewhere around 4 foot 9 inches is going to be the total height of that window, and that's based off of personal experience. So I'm going to draw a rectangle, and actually I want to be on the window layer when I do this. And I'm just going to draw a rectangle right here in this area. Okay, and as I come down with my height, as you can see, okay, I'm going to, let's see, is that 3 feet or a little bit more? I think it's a little bit more. So let me see if I can lock it in right here, or I might have to do something else. Okay, I'm going to hit the tab button. Got it lined up. Hit the tab button, go right over there. And it's still, okay, the width still adjusts. But I'm going to try to line it up again. Or if I don't, I can always come back and fix it. Okay, so I tabbed over to that other window, and I can, or that, yeah, that other dimensional window, and I can type 4 foot dash 9 inches. Okay, so now I know it's 4 foot 9 inches tall. Now I'm going to move, oh, not the whole window, sorry. Try to line it back up there. And when you do that, if you do get it out, hit the move tool, get the corner, and place it right there on the corner. Now it's too low. That way you can match it up right on the lines. Okay, so there we go. So you have to hit, because I locked it in at those specific measurements, I have to use the stretch command when I do that. So click here, and then you see that menu come up, stretch. Now that's going to allow me to stretch it without moving the whole window. All right, so I want to get it right on that line as closely as I possibly can. And there's our window. Now typically, a window has a line that goes through it that divides the two sashes. Here's where I need to do some calculating. I need to measure it. Okay, 2 foot 4.5 inches. Okay, I got to transfer all of that to inches. 2 foot 4.5 inches is actually, well, 2 foot is 24 inches plus 4 inches is 28 inches and then a half. So 28.5 inches. That's what I have to have. I have to have it converted to inches. So let me pull up my calculator here. 28.5 inches. Okay, so I'm trying to get the area. That's what I'm after here, in case you were trying to figure that out. Okay, now I need to get the width. Okay, that is 3 foot 2 inches. Okay, got to turn that into inches. So 3 feet is 36 inches plus 2 inches, 38 inches. Okay, so get my calculator back up here, multiply by 38 inches equals. So I've got a total of 1,083 square inches, but I need to turn that into square feet because the code reads 5 foot 7 inches. Or I could just turn 5 foot 7 inches, or 5.7, that's what it is, 5.7 square feet. I could turn that into inches if I wanted to, but I'm just going to do this. I'm going to say multiply or divide by 144, and that's how you do square inches. And it comes out to 7.52 square feet. Okay, so I've got plenty of space there. That window is perfect. It opens up. It's going to open up the way it needs to. Okay, now here's where I don't want you to get too fancy. You know, I know sometimes you'll want to come in here and draw some details in the windows, and we can certainly do some of that, but not right now. Okay, let's go ahead and get this project finished. And like I said before, I kind of drew the window from the actual window body. Okay, so I have some trim on that as well. That trim that goes around, if I remember correctly, that was like 1 inch of trim or 2 inches of trim, one or the other, 2 inches. Okay, so it's 2 inches of trim. So what do? I'm going to offset that rectangle 2 inches. Just like so. Now, as you can see, this top line kind of goes up into the fascia area, which we wouldn't normally see it. Okay, so I'm going to take this rectangle, I'm going to explode it. That way I can delete that top line because you're not going to see it. It's behind the fascia. All right, so there's a window. It's got a little bit of stylization to it because I added the trim. But that's pretty much it. That's as far as we want to take it for now. Okay, now here I got to see where that's going to wind us up on these windows. So let's mark one window for this. We're going to mark the edge. And that's where I'm going to have a problem right there. So I'm going to just draw a line. Okay, and then another line. Get the other side of the window, the part that's on the outside. Okay, and I'm going to draw a rectangle. Again, starting at that red line that I drew to indicate the top of my windows. Now this one is going into the living room. It does not have to have, 4 foot or 5.7 square feet of open space for a fire escape, okay? Because they've got the front door they can go out of. So I can actually draw this small as I want to, but I'm not going to do that. I like the living room to have long windows. So I'm actually going to draw those about 1 foot from the bottom. Okay, and I think that's going to be about it right there. What happened to my, okay, where did the other part of my rectangle go? Okay, something didn't happen there. Anyway, since I'm going to have to draw it again anyway, let's see, I might as well go ahead and mark that 1 foot distance from the bottom. Okay, so I'm just going to draw a little line here. I'm going to go up 12 inches and then draw across this way. Get that rectangle again. Hopefully this one time it'll stick right there. So that is that window. The other window is really going to be the exact same. So what I could do is mirror that over if I can get a center point on this line right here. Okay, and I can get a center point if I go to this tool right here, break at point. This is the line I want to break. I want to break it at that point. And I'm going to do it again because I want to break it at another point as well. That's the line, that's the point. So now I got that line segment. I can find the center now. Okay, so I can select this window, mirror tool, go to the center, bring it down, and there's my other window. Do not erase the source object. Okay, I can erase these two lines right here, and I think I'm going to keep that for now. So I need to establish this last window in there. So again, construction lines. I should have some luck with the construction line this time because I'm not dealing with any angles. Or am I? I am dealing with trying to find the spot. Okay, so I was kind of worried about how that was going to line up, and I was right to worry about that because remember it was a little bit off before. So what I'm going to do, delete that line. I'm going to use this line, draw a single window line right down through here. And then I'm going to get rid of that construction line. And then I'm going to mirror, just so I'll have it set evenly from each side. I'm going to mirror that one right over the center and click no. Draw another line up top. Okay, and then I can get rid of this line. Draw another line down at the bottom. Okay, and if I want these windows to be openable, then I can draw the line that separates the sashes. Okay, the sashes are again those little panels that are within the window that allow you to raise it or lower it. Okay, now these windows are going to have probably no trim, or if anything, some very thin trim. But I think what we're going to do is just leave it like it is. Okay, we're not going to worry about the trim on those particular windows. Okay, next is the front door. So I need to mark the front door to get the front door down here. Okay, things should go a little faster now that we're not dealing with that bay window. Same thing on this one. I'm going to go ahead and mark the actual frame of the door, the actual, the body of the frame. And so that door should go right in here. Okay, that red line represents 6 foot 10 inches. So I'm going to draw a rectangle. I'm going to put it on the door layer though. So I got to do the door layer, door. Okay, draw a rectangle. And that's as simple as that. That's our door. Okay, now we can stylize that, make it really look like a door, but we're not really concerned with that at the moment. Okay, and then we have our garage door. So we're going to do it the same way. We're going to go here and bring that garage door down. Okay, and I'm going to use the rectangle tool. Now a garage doors are 7 feet, or typically 7 feet high. Okay, so it's actually going to go up under the eave just a little bit. So I could do this. I can just draw a rectangle and then explode it. Delete the upper yellow line. And let's say delete these 2 lines. And then extend. Like so. Okay, now I can get rid of this red line right here. That was a temporary line. And we're good. So that is the front of the house. Okay, that is everything. I've just double checked and we've got everything. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is texture our surface finishes. This is a brick house. It's only going to take a second and see where we're at on video time. Okay, we're at 17 minutes, so we got time to do that real quick. So hatching, go to the hatching thing here, tool. And we're going to look for a brick. And there's several of them that look like brick. Some are larger than others. You want to find something that is not tiny, but smaller than those really large types of bricks. And I'm just going to see what is in here because I forget. There might be one that's designated strictly for that, but there's not. Okay, so we're just going to choose one of these bricks. Okay, let's go with this one right here. And I forgot what layer. I think I'm in the door layer. So let's go in here and turn on the exterior wall layer. Go back to our hatching and our brick. Okay, click on them, just like so. It'll fill in around the windows and the door, typically. Okay, now those bricks I think are a little big for house bricks. So there's 2 things I'm going to do. One is I do want to tone down the visibility a little bit. I don't want them to be so bright. So I'm going to use this transparency little thing up here, kind of tone that down some. Then I'm going to go with the scale. I'm going to type in, I want it to be smaller, so I'm going to type 0.75. And that looks more like household brick. Okay. All right, next thing I want to do is the roof material. So go back into our hatching tool. Let's just pull the whole thing down. And there's probably a couple in here that could work for roof shingles. This is one of them that can work, but let's go down. I'm looking for something else. If I don't see it, then we will use that one. Oh, here's another brick right here. That's probably more of a common brick. It would probably come out more to the size that we've got. But anyway, let's go ahead and again finish looking for the roof hatching. And I have used this for roof hatching, however, facing the other direction. Let's see what else they've got. Actually, here's good. Okay, that represents, it says here mud, ST. I'm not sure what that means exactly. Okay, and actually we want to change this one to the white layer. Let's use layer 0. Okay, just go ahead and click in all of your roof areas. We're gonna have to scale it up. Let's go back to our, let's see, get our hatch tool back again. There we go. Let's scale it up to 10, starting with. And I really don't like that pattern. I think I'm going to go back to the other one I said that looks like it, but is at the wrong angle. That one almost looks like it too. I don't remember where it went to. Here it is. So we'll go ahead and drop them in. And then change the angle. We'll change it to 90 degrees. I think we can come over here and just type it in here. 90. There we go. Transparency, probably a little bit. Okay, and there we go. We've got our roof patterns. Okay. All right, so that gets us, our building is pretty much done. The next thing we need to do is come back and do our dimensions, which is very important to do, and then we'll do some annotating. Okay, after that. We might do dimensions and annotating in the same video. I'm not sure if we're going to get that far or not. Okay, anyway, that's the end of this one. We're going to do, like I said, for the next one with the annotations and the dimensions.